Aloha, this is Emily T. Gail, and we're having a wonderful day out here at the Mitsubishi Electric Championship at Hualalai, the season opening event for the Champions Tour. They have to have earned their right to come play in the event. 40 players earned that right. It is the coveted position to come out here and play in the Mitsubishi Electric Championship. We just watched the leaders tee off, David Frost and John Cook. We're going to be walking around talking to fans, spectators, the people that run the tournament, some of the players. And if you didn't make it this year, we hope this will give you that excitement to come on out next year for the Mitsubishi Electric Championship at Hualalai. To say hello to Brian Goyne, the tournament director of the Mitsubishi Electric Championship at Hualalai. Brian, 18 years? My goodness, what a legacy this tournament has left for the Big Island of Hawaii.
Well, it's a great event, and it's a great way for the Champions Tour to start their season. And, of course, always starting here is so special. So, yeah, I've been fortunate enough to be around a long time with this event and starting the year off here. And, boy, this year has been no exception. It's been very, very, very special.
Well, you and I have worked together for the last 18 years, and we were saying the other day with the volunteers, it used to be done on a legal pad and a pencil, and now everything's so high-tech, and the volunteers have become so savvy and so experienced. They're organized under the umbrella of the Rotary Club of Kona. A lot of money has gone into the Big Island community through the Rotary Club of Kona Community Foundation. What is it, over $700,000 now to date?
There, yeah.
And, it's a season opening event for the Champions Tour. They have to have earned their right to come here, and it's almost like to the Super Bowl when they say they're going to Disneyland. The players in the Champions Tour are like, I'm going to Hualalai.
That's exactly right. And throughout the year, they talk about it. They tell each other, when a player wins, it's like, boy, you're going to get a chance to go to Hualalai now. So it is special. And again, to your point, the Rotary Club and all the volunteers, you could not do it without the support of all those volunteers who give up their time to come out here and help us. And the fact that we turn around and can give some money back, to charity through them is a real special thing about the Champions Tour, that we're going to leave something here. It's not just the player getting a trophy. It's also some charity money staying right here.
Well, to our viewers, you may not realize it, but the PGA Tour is coming close to $2 billion that has been raised for charities, and that's more than all the major league sports together. And that's not what the individual players do themselves. That's what the PGA Tour has done in terms of donations through all their tournaments. Unbelievable legacy again.
Yeah, it's a special thing about this sport, that you basically get a chance to run tournaments in different communities, and each one of those communities, the more involved, the more tickets that are sold, the more things that happen, they actually get the benefit from that. So that's across the board on PGA Tour events, and clearly we start the season here, and hopefully we'll have a nice donation at the end of this year's event, and we'll continue to grow that number.
Well, some of those monies have gone to refurbish the soccer fields down at the Maka'eo Community Park, the kidney machine up at the Kona Hospital. All kinds of groups have been beneficiaries of the monies, but one of my special groups is the Big Island Junior Golf. Mitsubishi Electric sponsors the Big Island Junior Golf, and those of you that were out at the tournament yesterday might have seen them. They play a little tournament on the Saturday every year at Hualalai Resort, and then they come over here, they get autographs, they respect the game, they've learned it, and what a plus that has been for junior golf on the Big Island. Comment about that. And the other one is how the families bring so many people. Jay Don Blake brought 19 people last year. This year he's got 23. Everybody comes with their families, so it's not just a very special tournament for them, but it's the vacation for the families.
It has, and this year actually Steve Elkington, this is his first Champions Tour event. So he actually had his birthday party. He just turned 50 in December, and he had his family from Australia, his family from his Texas ties. They had somewhere close to 19 people here as well. So it's a great place for the families to come enjoy this beautiful island, and to be able to spend time together while the player's not on the golf course. And it's just an ideal start to the season.
Now, the Mitsubishi Electric, these scoreboards, real-time scoring, absolutely every year, the high-tech that was being introduced to the world of golf is beyond any other sport, I think. The scoreboards this year, you're giving all kinds of trivia. Talk a little bit about how much the bar is raised every year with the technology.
Well, I mean, again, the real-time scoring is so important, and it's something that with these scoreboards now, that used to be glow cubes that flip-flopped, and, now this Diamond Vision, and then Mitsubishi, not only sponsors this tournament, but Mitsubishi Electric, provides those scoreboards for us on both the PGA Tour and the Champions Tour. So it's a great partner to help us, inform the fans. We have a lot of information And this sport's so unique. It's not one ball, you follow one ball. Today there's there's basically 40 balls out there. You can't follow it. These scoreboards mean more, than they do even at a normal sporting event.
I was amazed yesterday at the trivia that was being put out on the scoreboards, right down to somebody was hitting from the 11th fairway, right down. Little factoids, did you know that Olin Brown's father was from Chile? All these things that I think are really interesting, so we all not only find out what kind of players they are, but get a little bit more background. And the beauty of this tournament, 18 years, is we've all made friends, whether it's with a caddy, a family member of a player, people like yourself, Kelly Fleer, the tournament manager's done such a great job over the years. I just picked up a hitchhiker this morning. He just sent me a text. Hitchhiker John, he's from Hilo. His car broke down. He hitchhiked all the way over, and he got to his volunteer thing on time. He just sent me a text.
Good.
But, it just expands. It touches people. He came here. He's got a friend that came here from the mainland just to work the event. Talk about the volunteer effort as well.
Well, and again, the volunteers, without them, you couldn't have this. You couldn't do a tournament of this stature. You would never be able to leave money for charity. And these volunteers really take such pride in what they do. And again, they come together and they do so many different things that you don't even ever see. Everybody sees the marshals and you see the person carrying the sign, the standard bearer sign. But, the volunteers that are, they're working at the admissions gate. They're working, behind the scenes throughout the golf. They're making sure that the volunteers have water. So they're constantly doing so many different things, and it takes so many of them in a great coordinated effort. And the volunteer leadership here is just super. And again, the Rotary Club is a great partner.
A couple names to mention: Chris Hazard, Larry Webb, and Alan Clark, the president of the Rotary Club this year. He at one time was in charge of the volunteers, but it was a little too much for him this year. But there's so many that come. Bill and Nancy Verbrugge have worked the press room for 18 years, very experienced. Some last thoughts: Brian Goyne, tournament director of the Mitsubishi Electric Championship here at Hualalai. Last thoughts to our community out there who didn't get a chance to be here, but maybe saw it on the Golf Channel. Beautiful broadcast.
Well, yeah, and this year we actually added some new visuals with the Golf Channel. You see an airplane's flying over, giving us some beautiful overheads of the Big Island. And again, I think it's a special time of year. I know that everybody's busy coming out of the holidays, but if you've never been here, make sure that you try to come out next year, because this is a special time. And to be up close to Tom Watson and Fred Couples and Tom Kite and Hale Irwin, you don't get a chance to do that a whole lot. And this is a special time of year for them, and you can get really close.
And not only up close, but boy, they're so accommodating, signing autographs, talking to people, telling stories, letting people listen in on the stories they're talking with their old friends about. And just recently, some of the Champions Tour players went up to Nanea, did a fundraiser for the Hawaii State Junior Golf Association. Just one more example about how the Champions Tour players contribute outside of their regular duties in the Pro-Am a couple days during each tournament. They went up there, they raised over $200,000 for the Hawaii State Junior Golf Association. Michelle Wee is a product of the Hawaii State Junior Golf Association. That was on their time, so kudos to Mary B. Porter King, Jim Saunders, and the number of Champions Tour players that were up there contributing their time.
Absolutely. That's what it's all about.
So, Brian Goyne, it's always a pleasure to see you every year. I don't know how you do everything you do. Brian is in charge of all the championship management of the PGA Tour. So, where's your next stop?
My next stop will be in Los Angeles for the Northern Trust Open, so Riviera PGA Tour event.
And we have a bit of something in common. Brian was he was the tournament director of the Ford Seniors in Detroit, so we have a lot of mutual friends from the media and in Detroit. And best of all, he says nice things about Detroit because he was there and he loved it. So right. Brian and I from the Mitsubishi Electric Championship at Hualalai, the 18th year, the final round. What a beautiful weekend it's been for the Big Island community. We both say aloha. Okay, right now we're with Roger Chapman and his wife Kathy Chapman. I met them briefly in Detroit when Roger, this past summer in August, when he won the U.S. Championship, the Open Championship, the seniors, and a couple months before in Michigan he had won the PGA Championship, earning the right to come to the Mitsubishi Electric Championship for 5 years. And I got a chance to talk to Kathy in Detroit. Roger, I didn't get to talk to you, but talk about being here. Your first year, and you've got a few more years left.
Yeah, I've got a little timeshare here for 5 years. So no, it's a wonderful place. Reminds me very much of a place in we go to Mauritius, with the palm trees, and the golf on the golf course on the sea, and it's a beautiful place. And everybody's been so friendly. It's just almost can't wait to get back for next year.
And Kathy, I know when I saw you in Detroit at the conclusion after Roger had won, you were excited about coming to Hualalai like every Champions Tour player is when they earn the right to come to this event.
Yes, well, it was such a surprise that we'd get 5 years exemption, but no, he's done really well, and I'm really grateful. It's just the most wonderful place.
And Roger, you created a little history, winning 2 major championships on the Champions Tour last year. I mean, what a run you had at it.
Yeah, no, it was great. First Englishman to win either championship, so that's very proud, and to be the 4th player only to hold 2 in the same year behind Nicholas, Irwin and Player is it's a bit mind-boggling, but very, very proud of myself. And as I say, we've got 4 more years here, so it can't be too bad, can it?
You know, and what it shows is just what a global game the game of golf has become, not just on the PGA Tour, but on the Champions Tour. Mark McNulty, I mean, there's a number of people that are now playing on the Champions Tour and playing very well. So it's wonderful, because you all had good careers on the European Tour and whatever tours you played before coming here, and it's just wonderful to see.
Yeah, that's right. There's lots of guys that have played PGA Tour, European Tour, and their longevity, they're playing senior tour now, and it's a good mix. We're enjoying it.
So family members with you here at Hualalai, here at the Mitsubishi Electric Championship?
Not this year. They're really busy at home, but we've scheduled for next year, and we've told them they need to come. We'd love to have them with us, our 2 sons, Well,
the reason Kathy and Roger get to come again, because as we said earlier, they have to earn the right to play in the Mitsubishi Electric Championship here at Hualalai, the season opening event for the Champions Tour. But anyone who wins a major championship has a 5-year exemption. So Kathy and Roger are going to be here for a few more years, and hope to see you in that winner's circle.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
Okay.
Thanks very much.
Great. Thank you. Thanks, Kathy. Nice to see you both.
Thank you.
Aloha. Okay, now we're with Donna Flugel out here at the Mitsubishi Electric Championship at Hualalai, the 3rd and final round. And Donna's one of the residents out here, and she's had some good years where she's played in the Pro-Am, but she's such a supporter of this event. And talk about it as a resident of Hualalai, how much it means to everybody.
I think it is one of the greatest events all time, probably worldwide. When we first moved here, I was not a golfer. Never was going to take up golf. I told my husband it's not a sport. And years later, for some reason, I decided to take it up. I met this pro and I said, "You got me twice a day, 3 times a week." And did it, an hour each time, and took down notes. And once she got me out there, I'm hooked. I have loved the people I have met. It's just the most wonderful sport one can ever imagine being a part of.
And it's such a testimonial for women playing golf. Just what you said about yourself, not feeling enthusiastic about the sport, then getting a little taste of it, learning to love it, and encouraging other women to play. Because everybody, we were talking with Jay from the Golf Channel's Learning Center this morning, and even the Golf Channel speaks to the professional golfer and the seasoned golfer. They're trying to grow the game just like all of us are.
And golf is a great equalizer. You can play with people from maybe a head of state to someone in entertainment, Wall Street, and someone just local who is just part of the community and has a normal job, and we're all out there having fun together and hoping to sink that ball in the hole.
And Donna Flugel, she's had some good days out there playing in the Pro-Am here at the Mitsubishi Electric Championship over the years. There's always a few spots for the Hualalai residents, because in many ways they give up their neighborhood here for all of us to come out and enjoy the Mitsubishi Electric Championship at Hualalai. Who are some of the players that you've played with in the Pro-Am?
Well, I have played with Bruce Vaughn, Tom Watson. He's bigger than life on the course. I can't even begin to tell you what a great guy he is. I was so impressed. He was right, a female. He comes marching along and he's standing right at the tee box next to me and watches me hit that ball as if, I had a big play in the game. And actually we won. It was the best year. It was the best year. Who would have ever thought? I didn't. I just wanted to do my best because I was playing with him.
So, whether you've never played golf before, you're a recreational golfer that's kind of taken a little break from the game, this Mitsubishi Electric Championship at Hualalai is here every year. It's a wonderful opportunity for all of us to come out and see some of the best golfers in the world. And Donna Flugel, we met through golf. So Donna and I both say aloha.
And come on out and enjoy it.
Well, we've been talking all morning about how players have to earn the right to come to the Mitsubishi Electric Championship at Hualalai for the season opening event on the Champions Tour. And I mean, they have to play well, win a tournament, have won a major tournament. And last year, the person that I was really drawn to was J. Don Blake. He had 19 family members here. And he was two out. He was runner-up of the tournament last year. He was 2 shots behind Dan Forsman, who won. But more than that, the aloha that their family shared last year was amazing. This year, he came back with 26 of them, all here. And this is Marcy, Jay's wife, and also his caddy. And let's see, Cody, I've met, and Patrick. Patrick has a show on ESPN in Utah, and all these kids, nieces, nephews. What's the little bit?
Patrick's the son. His wife Jennifer. 2 kids, and then this is my other daughter there, Miranda.
Okay.
A niece, her husband back behind, and then they got 4 kids right in here. Okay. And then my daughter here, Bridget.
Hi, Bridget.
Husband Carson, his 2 kids, and another one right here for 3. And you said Cody, daughter Jamie, and Jordan, and where's Malia? Malia's over here. And then we've got Kim and Fred.
Kim is
She's
Jamie's mom.
the mom of my 2 older daughters.
So what I think is so neat is that you stayed down in our sweet village of Kailua Kona down by Magic Sands, that you all got a little flavor of our community down there. And did you get, well, it was disappearing sands this week, wasn't it? It was rocks. But I'm just assuming that you've all gotten out around the community down in Kailua Village, and some of your favorite things about being here on the Big Island.
Being able to go scubaing and snorkeling.
All right, down at Kahalu Beach, probably? Yeah, and how about yourself? What's your favorite thing?
Just being at the beach.
Yeah, touche on that one. What's your favorite thing?
Watching my uncle play golf.
Wow, how about that? So did everybody go out and watch Jay? Paid him to say that. And what is really special for you? I mean, it's one thing to come out here and really focus on playing the tournament, but to focus on making it a family reunion and sharing as much as you do to the community is really wonderful. So talk about that a little bit.
We're just grateful to be here, and to be able to bring our family is priceless to us. And to give back to the community is really big, and to be here at this tournament, you're in paradise. I mean, what more can I say? It's just amazing.
I know one person that is very happy. Yay. Hey, Chick, come here, Chick. Chick.
Come here.
Chick.
He's part of our family.
Come on. So Chick Kunataki from Waiaha River Coffee Company kind of took a liking to the Blake family last year. And so he's been following them around every day.
We're part of the family.
So we've got other people coming on the 18th hole here now, but Chick, it's been a special week for you too, hasn't it, Chick?
Yeah, because of them. I love it. I love this family. 22? 26 is huge.
So from the Big Island community and, everybody that you've you have crossed since you've been here at the Mitsubishi Electric Championship at Hualalai last year and this year, I just want to extend to you, you really know how to live aloha. And it's been wonderful. You've shared it with so many people in the community, and it's just a very special thing. What's your exemption status as far as the Mitsubishi Electric Championship?
I'll be able to come back next year. So they give you a 2-year status if you've won, and I won last year, so I've got this year and then one more, and hopefully I can win some more and keep coming back. And I'm not sure if the whole family's all coming or not, but if we can work it out, we'll see what we can do. But we all love coming here. Everybody has a great time, and it's a good thing for myself to give back to the people that have supported me, and it's nice to take them on a trip and let them enjoy it. And I'm glad they went out and enjoyed the activities around Hawaii with the beach and snorkeling and wakeboarding and whatever they were doing out there while I was working. So I'm glad they went and did that. Usually they just come out and watch every day, but I'm like, no, go enjoy yourself. Enjoy what Hawaii's all about. They went up and seen the volcano and did the whole tour, 5-hour trip. So it was nice for them to get out and do that, and I'm glad they enjoyed themselves. And you know, it's just a pleasure to have everybody here and being part of this big family and you know, and giving back to the community of Hawaii.
So it's Jay Don Blake, and as Jay said, you know, he gets a 2-year exemption when they win a tournament. If you can just keep winning one every year, we're going to see you for a couple of years at a time, right? And had a great PGA career, and isn't it a wonderful thing to be able to come out here on the Champions Tour? It's you guys that made the PGA Tour. You're the ones that, you know, did what you did to create those large sponsorships everybody sees, and it's so nice to see that parlaying into the senior tour. Mike Stevens has done a great job creating sponsors during a difficult economy, and actually ended up with one more event this year, I think. So, 2 more. I mean, that's amazing, and what a great job Mitsubishi Electric does here at the Mitsubishi Electric Championship at Hualalai. What wonderful sponsors they are for the Champions Tour.
Yeah, they've been a great sponsor. I mean, I played last year with some of the guys that were involved with it, and you know, I've took some videos of their golf swing, and so now we keep in touch with emails from Japan and to here. So, you know, you make some good friends out here, and you know, the Mitsubishi, they claim themselves as a family also, and that's the way they are. They're just one big family, and you know, they've welcomed us here to be part of their family too. So, you know, we're just adding to their family. So it's pretty nice to have them part of this tournament.
Well, there's someone putting out there, so we'll all say it very quietly, but we all say to the community, aloha. We're down at the Media Center, and for 18 years, Bill Verbrugge and his wife Nancy have been a mainstay down here for the Media Center and the PGA media officials. So Bill, talk a little bit about your 18 years as a volunteer at the Media Center.
Well, the great thing about it is we meet a lot of great players, and I go out and get them off the golf course to come down here and be interviewed, and it's actually a privilege instead of a job.
Now, you were the PGA professional at the California Golf Club.
Correct. And
for many years, a very prestigious golf club. And I never forget the year George Archer won. Right. And he had been one of your club members. So you really you've spent a lot of time with some high-profile players. And that's what was so great about you and Nancy volunteering for the press room. They've wanted you back every year because you have a knowledge of the game and the players and know how to handle yourself around the media room.
Well, I think you were the one that directed us here.
I was. Yeah,
it worked out perfect.
Yeah, I knew when I met you that you were the right guys to work in the media room because of your knowledge about PGA players and the PGA Tour and your background in golf. So it's been a wonderful contribution that you've given to the Mitsubishi Electric Championship here at Hualalai. The volunteers are an essential part of every PGA Tour event. You know, it's the monies that are raised that go back into our community, and it's because of the volunteers that a lot of money can be raised. And now we're with Jay Radzevich. How'd I do, Jay?
You did excellent. Perfect, Emily.
Now, Jay is with the Golf Channel, and for all those of you that watch the Golf Channel, and you may not know, the Golf Channel was created by Arnold Palmer and his very good friend Joe Gibbs, but not the Joe Gibbs of the Washington Redskins. And I met Jay a number of years ago as he was with the Golf Channel, and what I love now is he is out there producing some great shows. You see it every week on the Learning Center with all the Champions Tour players, PGA Tour players, and a lot of things of interest. For instance, this week during the Mitsubishi Electric Championship at Hualalai, as we mentioned earlier when we were talking with Brian Goyne, some of the Champions Tour players went up to Nanea Golf Club to help raise funds for the Hawaii State Junior Golf Association. Jim Saunders, the general manager at Nanea, Mary V. Porter King, what a wonderful event they put on. And Jay, you produced a show that'll be running this week and probably throughout the year, maybe even for the Learning Center.
We did. We went up with David Marr of the Golf Channel, and he hosted the clinic. It was outstanding as it's been in years past. I think they had a dozen players or around that number this year. And this week on Learning Center, we're going to go in depth with Hale Irwin. So we're going to do a little snippet from the clinic with Mr. Irwin. And throughout the year, some of the material that we gathered up there will be shown as well.
Now, your wife, Maureen, I get her newsletter every week, the Champions Tour update. Give us a little background about how you two got involved with the Golf Channel. Well, it has such a great history, doesn't it, with Arnold Palmer having been the creator. I remember when people laughed about it before it got on cable, and it took a long time, but he was determined to have that all 24-hour golf station.
Absolutely. You know, Emily, it's been 18 years. We just celebrated our 18th anniversary of the Golf Channel last week. So we've gone from, you know, a little backyard operation basically to a worldwide audience. I think we're in 80 plus countries, millions and millions of viewers, and it's a real substantial network now. As far as my own individual association, a friend of mine that I was working with in local TV took a job there. He lured me to the Golf Channel about 11 years ago, and by that time they were pretty stable. They'd taken the turn to the path of where they were, or where they are now, and just latched onto them. Maureen, my wife, as you mentioned, works for the PGA Tour, and we met actually out on the road on a Champions Tour event. And so, you know, we're just so indebted to the Golf Channel for everything that they've done for me, my fellow employees, and everything. It's just a terrific place.
And what they've done for the average recreational golfer. I mean, the thing about the Golf Channel, I used to say it in the early years, was the Golf Channel was introducing the sport of golf to people who were softball players, fishermen. They were really bringing it into the homes of people that were recreational athletes but really didn't have a knowledge of the game of golf. And the Learning Center, what is nice about it is it speaks to the seasoned golfer, the professional golfer, but it really speaks, because we're trying to grow the game of golf, and it speaks to the new golfer as well. Address that.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we want the low handicapper to watch these great world-class players, these Hall of Fame players, and offer insight to them. But we want the 30 handicapper, too, to latch onto the game and get excited about the game and learn the fundamentals from these great players.
Lots of initiatives going on by the PGA of America to grow the game of golf. Jay mentioned David Marr. David Marr, of course, his father was a wonderful PGA player, but also broadcaster, and was a great contributor to the game of golf. David has told stories about when he was a kid and traveling with the Nicholases, and their cradles would be the drawers of the motel rooms. You know, he really knows this stuff. What's so nice about the Golf Channel is bringing people that have been with the game and can share the history of it. I think the history of the game of golf is so important to people to understand and appreciate the tradition and the honor of the game.
That's what's so great about the Champions Tour, because the players understand and respect the history of the game. I mean, you could talk to Ben Crenshaw for literally hours about the history of the game. It could be any facet of the game, and he'll have a nugget of history for you. And that goes right across the board for all the players out here. And of course, as you mentioned, David Marr loves the history of the game, and that comes out, I think, in each and every show on Champions Tour Learning Center.
So we're talking with Jay Radzavage from the Learning Center. You can catch him weekly. He produces the show that you see. He gets some of the, whether it's a PGA player, a Champions Tour player, but little tips from the golf course, and not just about golf, but a little bit about what the game can teach us in terms of just public relations, how to grow the game, how to bring other people into the game, mentorship. One of the most important things in anything in life, but in golf, I have my mentors. One of them just turned 90 years old. I think that's something that you all showcase a bit, because you talk to the players about who helped them when they were younger. You mentioned Ben Crenshaw. I mean, they all have someone that played a very important part in their lives as they were starting to play golf.
Absolutely, Emily. The great thing about the Champions Tour, and really bigger than that, the great thing about the game is from generation to generation, the stories are passed along, the instructions passed along, and the appreciation for the game.
So Jay and I are out here at the Mitsubishi Electric Championship at Hualalai. It's the 18th year. We've all made a lot of friends. He and I met here years ago as he was working with the Golf Channel, and we developed a friendship and I think a mutual respect to one another. And it's always a pleasure to see you, and it's always a pleasure to hand some 100% Vaiaha River Kona coffee in your hands. You guys really appreciate that. Thanks you so much.
We look forward to next year.
It's Jay and Emily at the Mitsubishi Electric Championship at Hualalai, the 18th year. And we're at the Media Center at the Mitsubishi Electric Championship at Hualalai. We're with Dave Sentko. Dave is the PGA Tour media official. I've had the pleasure of knowing Dave for many, many years, and he's a bit of a kama'aina because he went to college at the U of H Manoa. So Dave, welcome, and some comments about being here. You don't get to come every year because your counterpart, Phil Stambaugh, has been here the last few years, but a delight to see you back this year.
Yeah, it's always fun to come here. As you know, as you mentioned, I went to school here, and you know, I was at Sony last week, so it gives me an opportunity to just come back and visit some friends and just, you know, I always enjoy coming to Hawaii. You can't beat, I live in Florida, but, you know, it doesn't hold a candle to being on the Big Island or on Oahu, actually.
Now, everybody always thinks that, PGA media officials or Jay with the Learning Center, all of them, wow, what a cake job. I got to tell you, it is not a cake job. These guys go from early morning till night. The amount of research, Dave is always at his computer that they put out. They're putting out tour notes every day. It just amazes me over the years as I've watched what kind of responsibilities you have on a daily basis, and you just go from one event to the next and one day to the next.
Yeah, we're gone, 19, 20, 21 weeks a year, and I just am finishing up 2 weeks here today, and then I'll go home tomorrow, and then I'm home for 12 days and then have another event in Florida. But I've enjoyed it. This is my 18th year. I guess I fall in the KG veteran category now, but it's been fun. I've worked with some great players over the years, and golf has been enjoyable. It's a lot different. I've worked in football and basketball before, but I really enjoy working with the golfers. They're very accommodating, and it's been enjoyable.
And what's really nice to see, of course, Phil Stanbaugh, your counterpart, who's here other years, and yourself, like yesterday when you're doing your interviews with David Frost and John Cook, who are the leaders here this year at the Mitsubishi Electric Championship. It's day 3 right now, but you can feel their comfort with you and your knowledge, and those things make a lot of difference. When you start grinding out those second round news pieces, Ann Miller is trying to get a story out to go to Associated Press that's going to go out all over the world, and Joe Ferraro does a great job with West Hawaii Today. You got people you got writers all over the country. Nowadays, it's kind of real time. They're getting their information from you, and so it's what you put out that's so important and gets those stories out all over the world.
Yeah, it takes a little bit of work. I'm used to it. Like I said, I've been doing this for a number of years, and it's just having access to computers nowadays. It makes things much, much easier than I remember when I started as a student at UH. You were typewriters, looking in magazines or books to look something up. Now I could go to the computer, make a couple clicks, and I could see a guy's all-time record on the PGA Tour or the Champions Tour, what his low round is, what his, all these things that make it so much easier now. Technology has, changed things dramatically.
Well, it's always a pleasure to work with you. It's Dave Senko, the PGA Tour media official, and we just mentioned earlier that Dave went to school at U of H, and yesterday you were talking about people that you were kind of reminiscing, and you brought up Joey Estrella's name. So Joey Estrella, of course, with the Vulcan Baseball at U of H here in the Big Island. What a wonderful contribution he's made to the sports community. Talk a little bit about some of the people that were part of your life at U of H and how you got in with the PGA Tour.
Well, I came here as a student. I worked in the athletic department for nearly 4 years when I was getting my degree. And you mentioned Joey Estrella. Joey used to live across the hall from me in the athletic dorm we had at the time, Hale Irwin, which I believe now has been, they've incorporated students into it, but it was an athletic dorm. Joey was a baseball player. But I worked at UH, and then when I finished school, I got my first job at Yale University, and then just kind of worked my way up. Like most people in sports, you bounce around working in different things. I worked for the Buffalo Bills. I worked at the University of Washington, and I came to the tour back in 1995. I knew John Morris, who was our head of communications at the tour at the time, knew him from my college sports days, and that's how I ended up there. Started as a media official in November of '95, so it's been a long time.
I always like to share those stories with viewers because I think so often people think that it's just a very clear-cut, black and white way, the path to jobs, dream jobs, what people see as dream jobs. And just for those of you out there, we talked to Jay, we talked to Brian Goyne. Brian Goyne was a tournament director, and now he's head of all the championship management. It just goes to show that life is about opportunities, and you pick something that you like, and you're willing to be patient with it and be flexible about where your life might take you, and you never know.
Well, I've spoken to many, many college students over the years when I worked in college, and even when I've been in professional sports, just talking to students about how to get involved. I remember always telling them, get involved with something as early as your freshman or sophomore years. Too many students or kids in college wait till they're a senior and go, geez, what am I going to do next year? And I've told kids over the years, if you're at a university and they have a athletic department, go down and volunteer. If your interest is in sports publicity or marketing or operations, you know, at least when you come out of school, you've got some tangible things on your resume and say, I've done this, this, and this. It puts you 1 or 2 or 3 steps ahead of some kid or student that may not have done anything. And again, I tell people, again, when you work, if you work in the athletic department, you never know who you're going to meet, whether it be a TV person that comes in and you may have to drive that person to the airport or be a runner. And that's how I got started when I was at UH in golf. I had worked the Hula Bowl doing stats, and I met Terry Jastro, who had done ABC Golf, and I started helping out at the Hawaiian Open when my first year in school, and did it for 4 years, and then eventually got some more experience in golf. I worked 3 or 4 major championships for ABC, just being a grunt guy doing stats and stuff, and you know that certainly helped me. When you put that in your resume, it makes a big difference.
And I think all those kind of things sometimes can have more merit than your 4 years of college, you know, and certainly they add to it so much. I'm so glad to hear you say that and encourage people to be interns, but somehow get your foot in the door and don't wait until the end of those 4 years of college and hope that dream job is there. You create it, don't you?
Yeah, you just, whether it's, you know, if you're at a college and you work in, like I did in the athletic department, or you go to a local radio station or TV station, you have an interest in broadcasting, just, you know, walk in and introduce yourself and tell people what you'd like to do. And, you know, you might get 3 or 4 doors closed and say we don't have anything, but there might be someone that'll give you an opportunity that, you know, you can't measure how important it is just getting experience. And it's 1 or 2 or 3 more people that you could put on your resume that, you know, I worked at place X and you know, I did this, and it's something that's going to definitely benefit you in the long run.
Dave Senko, PGA Tour media official here at the season opening event, Champions Tour, PGA Champions Tour, the Mitsubishi Electric Championship at Hualalai. It's always a pleasure to see you. I was glad to hear you had to come back here this year.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun to catch up on things, and just a big aloha. Yeah. Really pleasurable.
Thank you, Emily.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Aloha. And Chick, you've become a real fan of this tournament, huh?
Yep.
What is it you like about coming out here?
Just the environment. It's beautiful, beautiful Hualalai resort, you know. And unless you come out here, then you'll really appreciate what they've done with it. And I for one, I for one, am very happy to be here. It's very entertaining for me because these players are the ones that you read about in the papers and see them playing on television, and all of them, they're great.
And you had never been to a golf tournament before you came to this one, right?
No, and they're very approachable at Hualalai, so I get to talk to a lot of them, and like a groupie, you know, like following the rock stars. Well, when they come here, I get a chance to talk to all of them, not all of them, but most of them, and it's very approachable and very entertaining. So when you pull out the paper, or the advertiser, or the West Hawaii Today, for me, I can relate to them, you know, so it makes it more interesting, the sports page especially.
And I know the first time you came out here to Hualalai for the Mitsubishi Electric Championship, you had not been out in this area since you were a kid fishing with your dad when there was nothing out here.
Yeah, there's nothing out. The only place was that I remember was Kona Village. And they had some brackish pond there and a lot of donkeys and goats, you know. And that's all I've seen here. But the next time I come out here, I look, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Although the tidal wave came, but I think eventually they'll fix it up again.
Yeah, they've done a nice job fixing it up. So you've made an awful lot of friends out here. Nancy and Bill Barugi in the press room, and it's nice to see. You've gotten pretty knowledgeable about these players over the years, and.
Well, thanks to you, Emily, you know, I get a chance to interact with them, so it's nice. Especially when you watch the TV and read the papers, you know. It's something I know where they are at and where they're going and all the good stuff, you know, in sports pages.
Yeah, and I think Joe Farrar does a real nice job covering the event. Of course, Chip Begay, general manager of Kale TV, will be covering it for their news and talk story, and we look forward to working with him, and it's going to be a good couple of days. It's going to be hot. It's a beautiful Hawaii day, isn't it?
Yes, it sure
Here
is.
at the Mitsubishi Electric Championship, the season opening event before they all get back here. You know, how many years has it been now?
17 quick ones.
What a beautiful week. It just gets better every year.
Yeah, this is year 17, and it has been an unbelievable week. And, you know, the players couldn't be more complimentary. And our team, you know, we're just coming off of our most successful and busiest festive season ever. And coming straight into this, it's just been outstanding. The team was very excited to host this again, and everyone did a great job. And Mitsubishi Electric and all of their customers, as well as the PGA Tour and their players and their staff, are just ecstatic. It's
So
great.
John Freitas, the general manager of the Hualalai Club,
yeah.
and you know, has been at it a long time. But what's so great about it is so many of the people that started and opened this resort are with you today.
Yeah, you know, the culture that we created back in 1995 and 96 when this was getting off the ground, I think was really trying to find great people and then let them do what they do best, which is take care of people. And when we did that, we found some people that really loved just doing that. And it's continued to allow them to find additional ways to continue to do that here at Hualalai. And it's really just an unbelievable ohana that we have here that's been able to continue to provide the highest levels of service.
And speaking of ohana, the Hualalai ohana, you know, what you do for the employees here, what the residents do through the Ohana Foundation is, you know, a lot of people don't know about that, but it's a wonderful foundation.
Oh, it's an unbelievable gift that our members created back in, I think, 2002, over 10 years ago, to give back to our employees here. And they created a foundation that they help fund through donations and fundraisers to assist our employees in cases of need. For instance, medical need. If somebody has medical expenses for something that are above and beyond the medical insurance coverage, they'll then pitch in to help support that, as well as continuing education and scholarships that otherwise employees' families might not be able to send their kids to certain schools. They help support that.
And I've heard from so many people that work out here that have been recipients of that generosity. And what makes you really get a kick out of things is the first year your wife Catherine was pregnant with your first child.
Not the first year, but one of the first years.
Yeah, one of the first years.
He's now 14. He'll be turning 15 in 2 days.
That really got
or
me.
on the 24th.
And I see Nick's son, and you know, he's a high school kid playing soccer now. And
it's amazing,
so
isn't it?
we've all shared an awful lot of fun and aloha over the years, John. I've always appreciated it.
Well, it's great to have you here, Emily.
Okay, thanks
for
very
everything.
much. Aloha.
Aloha.
I know you need to take off, but David Marr, what a great finish that was. How could we have asked for anything better?
I can't ask for anything better, and I don't need to take off. I'm staying here as long. They'll kick me out of
Oh,
here.
really?
I'm
Okay.
staying here as long as I can.
So Dave Marr with the Golf Channel, you know, we always talk about your dad, Dave Marr, who was a wonderful PGA player, but a great broadcaster as well, and that you have so much memory of what you learned from him. But as I watch you when you're preparing every morning, you know, people don't realize how much work goes into the production of a show like this.
If you care as much as we all do with the Golf Channel about what you're doing, we're going to make sure that you're as prepared as possible. There might be people that have more knowledge than us. There might be people that have more specific humor than we do, but no one's going to outwork the Golf Channel production crew, and certainly I'm one of them.
Well, yesterday I was, that's Kelly Fear, the tournament manager, and they did a great job. But David, I caught you yesterday, you were running through the parking lot. People don't realize your day starts early, you've got meetings, you guys, all the things that go into the pre-planning. We had a nice talk with Jay today from the Learning Center. I always say that the golfers put on a great show, but I think the production is a show that people, the more they watch, they're going to realize what goes into it.
Well, now you're making my job sound hard, when if you're doing a labor of love in a place like this, Hawaii, which is truly such a loving place, it's not a hard job at all. It's one that we love to do, so whatever work we're putting into it, it's fun.
And you know, you put out so many facts and figures and statistics and stories about the players. I think that's what's so great, how the Golf Channel, and I like to remind people that Arnold Palmer, it was his vision to have the Golf Channel along with Joe Gibbs, his partner at the time, not the Washington Redskins Joe Gibbs, but goodness, that was 18 years ago, and some comments about where it's gone, and it's introduced golf to, I always say, recreational softball players, fishermen, everybody.
It has, and it's done so with just 300 or so people who were actual employees of Golf Channel, and so many hundreds more that are freelance with the Golf Channel. all of them loving this game so much, wanted to present it in the positive way, in the way that my dad taught it to me and handed down with etiquette, sportsmanship. Just the way you play the game is the way we want to try and broadcast it.
Tell us a little bit about your dad, just briefly, so people can, because I love the history, people's the backgrounds and everything.
He was something else. His dad died. He was a PGA professional. His father was, Dave Marr Sr. And Dave Marr Jr. was 14 years old when the Houston golf community sort of got together, and they raised him down in Houston without a father. And he then went on, just wanted to become a club professional, try and get some kind of job in the industry where he could support his family. He ended up going on playing PGA Tour, won the PGA Championship, played on the Ryder Cup team. Arnold Palmer was his teammate, his partner on foursomes and four balls, and then he captained the Ryder Cup team.
And you guys traveled with the Palmer family and Nicholas's as you were a little kid?
It was something you just can't replace. I think the folks today with private jets and all that, they get a certain amount of comfort in what they do, but that camaraderie from early days on the tour, 60s.
Caravanning from tournament to tournament?
Nothing like it.
Well, Dave, I always appreciate your aloha so much. I really appreciate the support you've given me over the years. It's been a pleasure getting to know you, and I love watching what you do on the Golf Channel.
Emily, it's my privilege and my pleasure.
All right. Take care. Aloha. David Marr with the Golf Channel does such a wonderful job throughout the week. Yeah. What
I don't know what it was like to play in, but it was fun to watch.
It was sure fun to watch. The crowd was loving it.
Thank you. That's all right.
Wife's gonna make you buy a place.
How we doing here? You need one or two less zeros on the end of numbers, and we'd be here for a long time.
Well, John, congratulations. I know you spoke at length last year at various times about, a little disappointing towards the end of the year that you didn't win, but this is a great way to kind of jumpstart your 2013 season and get a win here for the second time in the last 3 years.
Yeah, it was, I think last year at times I may have played better than I did at any point in my career, really. Just never capitalized on it. Didn't get off to very good starts, and then was always kind of behind the eight ball. But really felt like I played consistently last year. So spent the winter trying to figure out what's going to get you over the hump, and just made some small little changes, and I think my schedule is going to be just a little bit different. I'm not going to play any less. I'm going to get in and be ready for Friday, I think is what we came up with. And to win early, I hit a couple milestones, this week. That's my 20th win between the tours, and that was huge for me.
Yeah.
Huge. To have 20 wins combined, that is, I'm very proud of that. Next thing on the docket is, of course, a major, but those come, when you least expect it sometimes. But I'm pretty proud of that. I hung in there. I worked really hard this winter on a number of things, and mostly myself. So that with some equipment changes, equipment changes can work for people. It's all about the player. The equipment fits me nicely, and I'm very happy with that.
What did you, out of all that went on today, what did you learn?
I was very calm out there. It was not an easy day. The wind kind of was up, and then it kind of went down, and then it picked up hard. Right about as we were going up 11 through 17, the wind was up, and I knew it wasn't going to take much. You had to keep hanging in there and play the par fives. I played the par fives very well this week, and made a couple of really nice putts here and there. Missed one on the par 3 at 12 that I probably should have made. I got a little fooled with the read, but other than that, I made a couple pretty good putts with the wind blowing, and the 2 putt at 17 was, You know, I can't tell you how huge that about 9-footer was for my second putt. But then again, I've been working on some things in my putting game that you know, you just never know until you have to do it. When you see putts go in, it just validates what you've been doing.
You were talking about the 2-putt, the 9-footer at 17 and your 53rd hole.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you kind of run us through those last 3 birdie putts and give us some
Yeah,
distances?
18. You know, I hit a really good tee ball off, and it just, if it just takes one bounce straight or to the right, it's way down there. But it actually, you know, the bunkers here aren't bad. The fairway bunkers are firm. I had 97 yards to the pin. I just saw David hit a great shot, so I had good thoughts. It was the same identical shot. And it was just a full, nice gap wedge. And, you know, just trust it. And then got over the putt, and I knew that putt didn't break very much. I've had it before. And it was just a matter of calming yourself down and hitting your line and trusting what you were doing.
How far was that putt, John?
It was, I was going to say about 15, 16 feet. It wasn't, I step off putts, and it was in between 5 and 6 steps. So.
And
he was just inside that.
18?
Yeah, he was just inside that. Then the playoff hole, we both hit good drives, and we both hit good second shots. And I got a great read off his putt. I knew what mine was going to do. Watching his ball go in just actually validated exactly what I was seeing. And it was inside the right putt. And he hit a great putt and made a great birdie.
How long were those?
His was probably maybe 10 feet, 8, maybe 9, 10 feet, and mine was 6 or 7 feet.
So at that point, do you think you're ever going to win?
Well, I've been in that situation before. You keep making birdies, and, you know, I knew that at 17, obviously a birdie was going to win, but, you know, I figured there's going to be a couple pars, and then you're going to have to go back to 18 and make another birdie. So, but when we got to 17T, the wind, there was no wind at all. It was unbelievable. From, you know, 20, 30 minutes earlier, the wind was howling there, and I hit 6-iron earlier, which wasn't really enough club, but I didn't want to hit a 5-iron. And then in the playoff, the wind died down, and it was a 7-iron shot. And I said, I know this shot, just trust it, just hit you a nice, high, solid 7-iron, and it landed perfectly and rolled just past the pin, and he hit a nice 7-iron, and you know, unfortunately, he didn't hit the putt that he wanted to, and I had a putt that was very straight, and it was just a matter of
how far.
I'm going to say 12 feet.
It was like 20 his, maybe?
Yeah, his was about 20.
Didn't look like there was any doubt in your mind where that was going.
No, I just, it looked straight from behind the hole, and it looked straight from when I was up over it, and, you know, then it's just a matter of clearing your brain and don't letting anything get in the way.
Sounds like yoga.
I do a lot of that, so, yeah.
And when you get to 18 and you've been going all day with this guy and you can't catch him, is there a frustration level there? Or?
Not really. It just, he's really good, and he's played very well. You know, especially the last couple months of this year, or last year, he won at San Antonio, and I know he won overseas, and he's a champion. He's won a lot of tournaments throughout his career and all over the world, and you know, he hit some beautiful golf shots. That shot he hit at 16. Was a gorgeous golf shot into the wind blowing, and he hit some quality golf shots, and he really didn't get much out of what he was doing, and I hadn't really been either. But it was kind of a survival day until you kind of got down to the nitty-gritty and knowing what you needed to do.
You finally flicked away all the other guys behind you?
Yeah. I think Bernhard ran out of holes, thankfully. It looked like he was making birdies everywhere. You knew Fred was going to make a run, and you just knew that. But I had numbers in my mind, and once I got to those numbers, I had new numbers in my mind, and know, that's how I learned to play on Sundays. And, you know, we got that and really wanted it.
John, you were saying, you said you were in a situation before where you're making birdies. What were you talking about there just a couple minutes ago? Been in a situation where you're making birdies. Were you kind of alluding to being able to catch him?
Right. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Exactly. That to catch him, you had to make birdies, but you had to play the par fives good. And I birdied all 4 par fives today. And unfortunately, he didn't. He only birdied one, I guess. Yeah. And that really was probably, you know, that's probably what it was, because they were all reachable for all of us. And I think that, you know, now looking back, that was probably what ended up winning. And I made 4 birdies there today. I think I made 3 yesterday, and maybe 3 the day before. So I made a lot of par 5 birdies.
1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 10.
10 out of 12. That's a
Ball
good
game.
That's a good
Yeah.
percentage.
Yeah.
And I made some par 3 birdies too, which,
Yeah.
you know, that's always a bonus out here. So
Yeah, you were 13 under on the back this week.
yeah, the front side is, you know, there's some good holes on that front side, and it played very difficult. Even the down, when the wind was blowing hard, the downwind holes were not that easy. You know, the holes like 3 and 5 is always a good hole, and then 8 and 9 are great holes. So I made a nice up and down at 5. I kind of pulled a 6-iron into the bunker, and hit a nice bunker shot out, but it was about 5 feet, and the wind was blowing, and I poured it right in the middle. 7, I 2-putted from about 50 feet. Had a good chance at 8. 10, I 2-putted from the front of the green, which had to be, good God, it had to be 100 feet. But made about a 6-footer there for second putt.
How far was the putt on 12?
Say 4 or 5 feet.
Yeah, it was about 4 feet. Yeah, it was kind of a misread. I kind of have a feeling that I had a feeling it was going to break more, but I didn't really believe it, and I just didn't play enough break. Missed it. Yeah, about a 4-footer. But then I made about a 3-footer for a 2-putt on 13. And 14, I hit a drive in the right rough with a really crummy lie, and I just gouged it a 6-iron, and it got way up there, way farther than I thought, up just off the edge of the green. And I hit a really nice pitch down there, a couple feet.
At 14?
At 14, yeah.
And you 2-putted, you said 17
17
from 9
was,
feet.
yeah, I didn't hit a very good shot. I mean, it was playing so hard, and I knew what the club was to get it near the hole, but you bring in so much stuff that I didn't think it was worth it. I was going to, you know, just try to hit a decent shot and, you know, go play 18 best I could. And I hit it kind of out there, and he hit the identical same shot. So, but I left mine 9 feet short and made it. He left his about 5 feet short, and he poured it right in the middle.
Then on 18, you said you had a bunker.
Yeah, I drove it down there and
yards.
just ripped it, and I had 97 yards in the pin.
Okay.
With a perfect lie. And a gap wedge in there. About, what did I say, 15, 16 feet?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, so guys or ladies, I should say, on set.
It's good to see you again.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's good to have you here.
A little comment about your yoga.
BG gives us back here another couple of years.
That's right.
Is that an everyday thing, doing the yoga? And
Yeah.
right.
Yoga type, it's more a lot of yoga moves.
Uh-huh.
A lot of breathing, and a lot of stretching.
Does
a lot
clear
of,
your head up, doesn't it?
Yeah, a lot of head clearing.
Sure.